Hello and welcome. Southwest Politics is in our line of vision yet again today as we examine politicking in Osun and Ondo State. Yes, there are events occurring in recent times peculiar to those two states, and my guest today is a main character in most of these events. Welcome once again to your preferred Hard Talk investigative program, Fireworks, on TVC. Let's take a short break. We'll be back very soon. Thank you for staying tuned. Today my guest is the Honorable Commissioner for Regional Integration in Osun State and a politician in Nigeria's Southwest, Honorable Bola Ilori. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you. Well.
Yes. Your politicking has traversed 3 states of the Southwest: Lagos, Ondo, which is where you hail from, and Osun. Give me a sense, that's a rich background, so give me a sense of your political convictions, your political ideology. Of course, we know your party, your political party.
My politics did not really start with mainstream political party outside, but so I've been like this since I've been an adult. So it's not as if one is just jumping into politics. So for me, and I had one saying that everybody knows me with, that the welfare of the people is a paramount law, salus populus suprema lex. That was my slogan from university till today.
So you're more of the communist at heart,
yes,
but the platforms on which you practice are just convenient.
Yes, I'm a welfareist, let me put it that way, because communism is not, let me say I'm a socialist and a welfareist by conviction. By conviction. But you know, Nigerian constitution says you must operate on political party, so you take the one that has semblance of what you believe in. Convictions. Yes.
Okay, let's move from there. Who are your political mentors in the scene?
Undoubtedly, that's too open. No doubt that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is our ultimate leader, and that is as simple as that. Of course, my Oga Aregbe is somebody that is doing well. I have a number of people, but let me just summarize this to say Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, and that takes me to the next point. You have been an executive secretary, Alimosho local government in Lagos. That was over a decade ago. And now you are commissioner for regional integration in Osun State.
Yes, because I've moved around the region.
So politics for you must be very profitable.
No, it's not about being profitable, it's about service. So let's put it that way. But one must thank God that God has always been there, you know, to make this thing happen. I'm not sure of too many people who has that kind of CV in Nigeria, serving a top echelon of 3 of the 6 states of the region. So national regional integration is just a natural office.
Now you say that you are more aligned with welfarist politics in terms of ideology, and your political mentor is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, what informed your decision at the time of the 2016 election in Ondo State to move to, or to defect, or jump ship, whatever word you choose to use, to the Alliance for Democracy?
Let me start at open politics, partisan politics in my region, the West. Side with Alliance for Democracy, so it's not a new turf. It has been there. But what led to that decision was the manipulation of the primaries of APC. And we followed the procedure by going through the appeal. The appeal nullified the primaries. Okay, the next step is to go to the National Working Committee. And we were told, and it was reported, that it was in the course of prayer that this same national president, chairman, Chief Oyegu, unilaterally stood up and smuggled the name of Barrister Akeredolu to INEC. For me, that's too much of an injustice. It would have been a difference in assuming they voted there and we lost. Fair and good. But for somebody to feel that he can just manipulate the process and just go and submit name, that was too much. And many of delegates who are loyal to me were part of people who are disenfranchised. So manipulation of the delegate list and the decision of the chairman of the party to ignore everything and just go and submit name was something that was difficult for me to cope with. And I moved on. And to justify that what I have done then was not wrong, the matter is still in court by another person, is what is the case that is against Barrister Akeredolu till today.
So on your own, you decided to leave the party for the Alliance for Democracy?
Yeah, because that was the only way I could pursue my own agitation. Because the party has shut every peaceful means of pursuing legitimate aspiration.
But quote me if I'm wrong, I've read in some other mainstream media platforms that you decamped to the Alliance for Democracy on the instruction of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
And
in fact, you said if Asiwaju says tomorrow AA is the option, we will move to AA. That he, in the first place, he was the one who instructed that you move to the All Progressives Congress.
Let me tell you what I said and what I did not say. I said today, and I still stand by that, if Asiwaju says we should go to any party for that matter, I won't even ask why. We'll go. There is no two ways.
So what happens to your political convictions of pursuing the welfare of the people? Because
I'm convinced that this man, we share the same ideas. So I don't need to think further. I know he's my comrade in that line of thought. So, and he sees more than I can see. What if he says
you go to a party that is capitalist in its outlook?
He will not do that. That's why we know him. He's not a new player on the field. That's conviction. On the issue of whether he was the one that said we should go to AD, I never said that. And I have the tape. Because the reference people made was Daily Post that made that assertion. Was what he chose to say. I said clearly, and it was on TVC, that I said the way they were treating Asiwaju was unfair, and our people are agitated that the politics of Oyegun is still the same Oyegun we're complaining about that year, and it's still the same thing every Nigerian is complaining about this year. Nothing has changed since the party has shut legitimate means of expressing views and even divergence of opinion. That we might as well go to a fellow progressive platform where we came from to pursue our agitation.
But you have reinforced that report now by saying that if he says go to another party tomorrow, you will move to another party.
Yeah, I've said that.
So you've reinforced that report?
That you can, I'm only responsible for what I say, not what you choose to understand. That is your own understanding of my statement, not what I've said. So don't leave me to what I've said and don't bother me with your own understanding of it.
So when you decided to support Olushola Oki,
yes,
you were his campaign director
in the Alliance for Democracy.
In the Alliance for Democracy, were you acting on instruction?
I've said I'm acting on the directive of members of our team in Ondo State.
Was Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu supporting Olushola Oki as candidate of the Alliance for Democracy in that election?
Nobody ever said that.
At the time that you were campaign director in Alliance for Democracy, were you commissioner or were you serving in any capacity in Osun State?
I had returned to APC before I became commissioner.
At the same time, you were loyal to the APC in Osun State, and in Ondo State, you were a member of the Alliance for Democracy.
No, that's an issue of understanding again. People should understand that I clearly and openly left APC for AD while the election was on. I had no assignment in Osun. There was no cabinet. Don't forget I took Aregbe more than a year to re-inaugurate his cabinet. So it was in the middle of that I did my own effort in Ondo. So I was clearly, as of that time, AD everywhere. I was not in APC as of that time. But after the elections, Asiwaju appealed to all of us that are not aggrieved. And he did a tweet. Don't forget that Asiwaju was at the inauguration of Barrister Akeredolu. And he appealed to everybody who might, for whatever reason, have left the party to return back to the party.
Were you compensated with the Office of Commissioner for Regional Integration for your efforts in that Ondo election?
It's not about compensation, it's about ability to deliver.
Thank you for that point.
Yeah.
And in a short while, you had only 2 months to campaign, but you were able to return Olushola Oki as the third runner-up in that Ondo State election, even though you had just 2 months to campaign.
Less than 2 months.
And by the way, let's not forget that Olushola Oki just moved from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress, and when he didn't get the ticket, he moved to the Alliance for Democracy. So how were you able to swing those votes in his favor?
Let me tell you, politics is about, there are people who are mobile, there are people who are not mobile. Some people will come and talk and talk and talk. They lack the ability to galvanize people, to organize people, and to move on. Politics is not Paralympics. You know that people will do. So each person's ability to deliver is not the same.
So that's why you've always been around. You've been executive secretary, special advisor in Lagos, Ondo, or Osun State. Are you one of the foot soldiers of the leaders of your party?
I'm a resource person that will deliver what is necessary to be done for a job to be done. And I do that with conviction, without violence, and ability to organize and move on. It's as simple as that.
So even though your allegiances switched at the time of the Ondo election very quickly from APC to the Alliance for Democracy and then back to APC, you became Commissioner for Regional Integration again in Osun State.
I have been a cabinet member in Osun before then. Don't forget. I was a special advisor.
I ask again.
Yes.
Were you compensated with that position?
I have replied that I had been special advisor. I was promoted. Not because of that effort, but because of performance of delivery. In what? Of
in
governance.
Your capacity as special advisor.
As special advisor on environment. Let me tell you, UNICEF wrote about Osun that was to them the cleanest state in Nigeria. So my mandate as special advisor was to keep Osun clean. And we took Osun from a backward state in area of sanitation to become the top in Nigeria. The National Bureau of Statistics also rated us second in the country. So we delivered. So the person who is the governor was looking at who can deliver for him in his mandate as a governor. It's as simple as that. That does not take away from my politics, but that's who I am. So
how were you able to make Chief Olushola come third in that election in 2016? How did you get those votes for him?
It's about power of conviction.
Were those votes purchased?
Do we have the money? Where does have money to buy anything? The purchase of vote was done by the other person. I don't want to be festering old wounds, but everybody knew that the winning or losing of that election was more about see and buy. It's not what we should encourage if democracy will thrive in Nigeria. You understand? Assuming it was on the basis of conviction alone, without issue of see and buy, honestly, the outcome of the election would have been far, far different. And maybe the first question will be, how did I become involved in politics of Osun? I was also, yes, I'm an Ondoma. But we are part of people who made the change of bringing even Ogbeni to Osun possible. I was a
That's your politicking again.
Yes, that was a major front.
You got some dexterity.
That was a major, I was a major actor in the coming of Ogbeni to Osun. I was a major campaigner there. So,
would you like to tell us some of your means, some of your approaches?
Well, my approach is that politics is about people. So it's a very simple matter. It's about people. And you know what is of concern to them. People want to see that you represent their genuine opinion on issues. And I put that on the table. And for people I've worked with, from Asiwaju to anybody, to Fashola, to Mimiko, to Aregbesola, they will tell you, whomever I find difficult to advise, I find difficult to work with.
Who you cannot advise, you cannot work with. Because you are confident in your abilities to deliver,
yes,
right?
Yes,
and so I ask again, are you one of the political foot soldiers of the All Progressives Congress?
If you are asking whether I'm a major supporter of my leaders, I'll tell you yes, very, very loyal. In the context
of being able to mobilize the people at the grassroots, get them to vote by whatever means?
Any day. No, not by legitimate means.
Oh, right. Today my guest on Fireworks is Honorable Bola Ilori, Commissioner for Regional Integration in Osun State, and of course a
State of Osun.
In the state of Osun. Yes, thank you, sir. And of course a politician in the Southwest. When we return from this break, we'll be looking at what seems to be the face-off between Osun and Ondo, or perhaps what we misunderstand to be the face-off. So stay with us, we'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned. If you've been watching Fireworks from the start off, especially in the last half hour, we've been examining the 2016 governorship election in Ondo State with a view to understanding what exactly happened. My guest today is Honorable Bola Ilori, Commissioner for Regional Integration in the state of Osun. Now, as we progress, what is your relationship between, the Secretary to the State Government of Ondo State, Ishola Abegunde? Abena. What's your relationship with him?
Well, we are not of the same school of thought. That's fundamentally we must state. He came from, he was in Labour Party, PDP and all that background. So we did not share background. But that's not the issue. We became friends eventually when he crossed to our party. We became friends. But the major issue is that he wants to be senator in our district. He has not been lucky to secure my support for becoming one. Of course, I had the bulk of delegates from the...
Your politics again.
Well, I had the bulk of delegates from the space. So when it was time, the other time, I was to contest the senatorial seat. I will have won. And that's where God comes in some of this matter. My own leaders told me that, come, go and support Buhari. That if Buhari becomes the president, then we have everything. Rather than me concentrating my energy in making myself a senator, that I should use that energy to promote the president.
And you delivered.
Yeah, the governor there then was PDP. It was, in fact, it was the head of the campaign in the Southwest. Now, that was a tough job. And they felt that because of the nature of Ondo, being a PDP state then, is enormous to deliver the state to APC in a PDP controlled state, to now add that to me also contesting to be senator. So I dropped my senatorial ambition. But that I did not drop my delegates. I had them. So it was for me to practically give who will be the senator the ticket. So after all manners of consideration, I aligned with Alasho Adura. Alasho Adura lost in Akure now, but we overran them from Ondo, end of the divide. So Alasho Adura became the senator. Abena found it difficult forgiving me for that, and that became the basis. Now again, they felt Ilori will most likely become the next senator from that place if it's not checkmated. So they started.
And is that the reason you were attacked?
Precisely. They said
regional integration
meeting. While I was there, they said it now that they are importing me again, that they want to come and make me a senator in the place, that the ticket is for Abena. But
so you attribute the attack on you on that day to the SSG to Ondo State?
I've said that openly and severally, and it was clear. I'm not the only one that has attacked anyway now. So many other people have been attacked. There has been cases of attack. Journalists have been attacked.
When you were attacked, your clothes were torn and all of that. The attackers were checked.
Nobody arrested anybody.
So the Oromio boys did not check the guys who attacked you?
No, they were able to prevent. They could have killed me that day. If not for the fact that people rallied around and were able to chase them off.
So has the Ondo State government apologized for the assault on you?
Yes, in fairness to them, months after, they publicly apologized when they came for the regional youth summit. The deputy governor openly, officially apologized for the attack.
So it appears as if the battle is over, but the war continues. What is the reason behind the parallel congresses that are being held, that were held across the state?
Let me first address your opening on this question, which is maybe the war is over, the battle is on. I don't think there should be any battle again by now. I, by myself, went to the governor to apologize to him for not supporting him. I did not support him, and I felt bad. And this is politics. We cannot all believe the same thing. But like I held, that I made every effort to prevent him from becoming the governor. God still made him the governor. I can't kill God. You must accept fate. He also did everything.
He became governor and you became commissioner.
Yes, he did everything to prevent me from becoming a commissioner. Because they were writing petition, his people were even coming to radio on Osun every day to come and be saying why I should not be cleared by the House of Assembly. But despite all their effort, I still became a commissioner. So two of us are lucky people that God decided to favor. So we should not be fighting ourselves. Why should two lucky people be fighting? So I went to him, I apologized to him. He's older than me. He's the governor. I'm not a governor. I contested to be governor before he thought of joining politics. But God has allowed him. And in fairness to him, he told me it was over, that we should be together. But you know, the unfortunate thing in Ondo State is that it seems we have like 3 governors. But unfortunately, Barrister Akeredolu.
I know Barrister Akeredolu is the governor. Who are the other 2?
The other 2 even appears more powerful. One is Abegunde. The other is Adetimehin. Those are the governors. Of the 3 governors, it appears the other 2 are stronger, and maybe our official governor is the weakest. Everybody has reached out to you. You are not God. God made you. He can make another person another day. There is no amount of intimidation you do that will prevent God from using whomever he wants to use. Senator Boroface, who is another person, who is a sitting senator, also made effort to reach out. You don't need that. Politics is about inclusion. I would have been arrogant if I had not gone to beg him. It's one party. I was a major financier of his campaign in 2012. We should not get to this level. That's that. On the Congress, what led to issue of congresses and the crisis in it. Every party member has right to contestation. What you can do is mobilize against them and make them lose. Simple. In legitimate, fair manner. What has never happened in Nigerian politics happened in Ondo. The governor claimed to have purchased form for everybody in the party. So,
but he's the party leader. Well, if not by constitution, but by convention. So every governor, sitting governor, is the party leader.
Then the same thing will be applicable. Nobody should buy form in Nigeria. Since he is not the ultimate, then Buhari should have bought for everybody. If that line of thought is against our constitution. Our constitution says whomever wants to contest, you go and pay to bank and obtain the form. I can tell you now that in Ondo State, nobody, no side, our side, their side, nobody obtained any form.
Including your own side?
The form was nowhere to be found. If anybody is doing form now, they will just be bringing it and be filling it.
So by extension, the parallel congresses you held can also be said to be unconstitutional.
Let me tell
null and void.
Let me tell you why.
The executives returned are not recognized under the law because they didn't purchase forms.
It's a court that will declare that. But let me tell you where we have the edge. There is a precondition that you must pay to the bank. We pay to the bank. They did not even pay. So they are worse offender. So they cannot build something or nothing.
So why did you hold your Congress in Owena?
No, I'll come to that.
The border between Ondo and Osun. The court can also adjudge your Congress illegal on that basis.
No.
Why didn't you hold it in Akure?
PDP Congress, primaries was held in Ibadan and it was never challenged by any court. Is allowed. When security becomes unfavorable, you are allowed by law.
Were INEC officials present at that Congress?
I will come to all of that. So that people can have logical understanding of what has transpired. The condition precedent for you to show any intention to participate in the Congress is by paying to the banks, which we did. They did not at all. If they will do, it will be after. But God has helped us in this that when we get to the bridge, we will cross it, where they will show. You know now, you can't use hand to change dates. There are dates you must pay this to show. They could now pay after the Congress. They could have paid. I'm not in their midst. But the condition precedent has not been met by them. Therefore, you cannot build anything. But pronouncement on what is right or what is wrong in this Congress will be resolved in either of two ways. Either when Oshiomhole becomes the party chairman, he will set up a proper reconciliation committee to review all these crises, and I think that's the easiest. Otherwise, it might be for the court to decide. And I believe that with the integrity of Oshiomhole, all the parallel congresses in the country will be looked into. You now spoke about the APC saying that parallel congresses will not be recognized. You are sure that means the party is shutting out more than 45% of its entire membership. That would be a joke for any serious party. I told people that raised that issue, and I'm raising it, that it has an expiry date. That statement has an expiry date. It will expire by the end of June, when a new chairman will have emerged. So it's a short-lived, shelf life. That pronouncement that APC will not recognize parallel congresses. They
What
will
about
look
the
in,
issue
they
of
will
the
look
absence
into.
of INEC officials?
Let me tell you, these are internal party matters. It's when we get to court that all those issues.
So you're anticipating that this issue will get to the court?
I've told you that there are two ways to it.
You'll be spending more.
Let me tell you, it's part of politics. There are two ways.
So there is allowance, financial allowance for this matter to become a court matter.
Let me tell you, we have lawyers in our midst. It's part of the business. So if you don't have lawyer, you cannot even thrive in this business. So it's envisaged. But I told you, it's not the best, but it's a possible route. The party will sit down and look at the grievances, each grievance on his own merit. You are shutting out, you say, whomever does not like your face cannot be in the party. And you think that everybody will accede to that? It can't happen. Abacha did not even do that during his own five finger of a leprous hand that he called a political party. They did not even, one man did not buy form for everybody. People still contested on their streets. How would you do that? If you do that, you will not become governor now.
You're expending a lot of your energies in the politics of Ondo State, understandably. That's the state you hail from.
Yes.
But where is the time and energy that you have for your work as Commissioner for Regional Integration in Osun State?
I've always been like this in my life.
Lastly, is there hope of reconciliation between you or your camp of politicians in Ondo and the other side, which is led by the Ondo State Governor Ishola Begunde Ade-Adetime? So, are there hopes of reconciliation? Honestly,
our own group, we call it Sunshine Mandate Group. The Sunshine Mandate Group philosophy, which we are Senator Boroface, all the House of Reps member from Ondo State, and several other well-meaning party leaders and members are part of. Our philosophy is very simple. What we are saying, we need reconciliation, honestly. But there is no way we subscribe to a situation where you say you have shut the door and you are Alpha and Omega. Nobody will take that. In fact, NUJ made a statement that is so painful over the assault on NUJ member that Ondo APC is more of a scourge passing through the state. Is that a good recommendation for any political party because of violence of one or two people?
Has the violence been confirmed to have been carried out by the other side?
Okay, we are the one beating ourselves. we are the one beating ourselves. That's not the issue. What we want is genuine, sincere reconciliation where people are allowed to come together in the interest of the party. What will we benefit? I tell you, today, if APC should conduct genuine, legitimate local government election without rigging, it will be a disaster. I've been in this process before I came to join politics. So if I've invested so much of my lifespan on that process, and you think somebody will be messed, I'll be happy. No, this fight is not what I enjoy. I don't enjoy the fight. I don't enjoy the disagreement. But you cannot say I will not exist politically and I will go and fold my arms and be looking at you. That would be stupidity.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, that's how it's been. There must be fairness in politicking. Perhaps that is what has resounded most from this interview, and I hope that is not my own understanding. It's not understanding that you agree with.
Yes.
There must be fairness in politicking. The rules must be abided by all concerned. Join us same time again when we learn more in the landscape of Nigerian politics on Fireworks, your preferred hard talk interview program. I am Bukola Samuel. By the way, my guest today has been the Commissioner for Regional Integration in Osun State, Honorable Bola Ilori. Bye for now.